Hi, my name is Ariel and welcome to Mermaid Musings. Today I am going to talk to you all about the Jupiter in Pisces transit. This video is about how Jupiter in Pisces will affect your life based on what house Jupiter in Pisces is transiting through in your natal chart. If you have no idea what house Jupiter is transiting through, I will link a natal chart calculator down below. All you need to do is look at what house in your natal chart Pisces occupies, and then watch the section of this video based on that house. I have the timestamps listed below so you can skip to wherever it is you need to go. Here are the dates of the Jupiter in Pisces transit. I will also have the dates in the description if you want to look at them later on. Basically, during these dates, you want to keep in mind and act upon the description of Jupiter in Pisces in your house in order to make this transit work in your benefit. As you can see, we have Jupiter in Pisces 3 times over the next year and a half. So you have 3 chances to work with this energy. If you're looking for a more basic description of Jupiter in Pisces and how it will affect everyone on a collective level, I've already made that video and I will link that down below as well. It's good to watch that video in conjunction with this video in order to have a full grasp of the Jupiter in Pisces transit. So let's get started on how Jupiter in Pisces will bring luck and expansion into your life. Jupiter in Pisces transiting your first house means that your outlook on life, the lens through which you see the world, and how other people see you is being expanded. Jupiter has just finished transiting in your 12th house, which was expanding your inner life. Now that Jupiter has moved into your first house, it is expanding your outer life. You might feel like you're looking at your life through all new eyes. You see the beauty and wonder in life in ways that you haven't seen in a while. This is a really great time to get out and do things. Obviously, I know what's going on in the world at the time of me posting this video, so obviously, don't do anything that can potentially put yours or someone else's health at risk. But right now, you're not meant to stay at home in your own inner world. That's what Jupiter transiting your 12th house was for. You're meant to get out and be part of the world, to go off and see things that you haven't seen before, to have new experiences that you haven't had before. This will help you to expand your worldview, to have an even better lens through which you see the world. Once Jupiter leaves Pisces, even though it is no longer transiting your first house, your eyes will still have been opened and you will be able to view life in a different way. During this transit, people are going to be drawn to you. Jupiter is bringing luck and expansion into how people first perceive you. So right away, when people meet you, they want to be your friend. If you want to expand your social group, now is a great time to do so. It's a lot easier to meet new people than normal. So don't be afraid to talk to people. Don't be afraid to go to social gatherings where you don't know anyone. While it can be scary, you'll find that people want to come up to you and want to get to know you as long as you put the same effort back in return. The thing about Jupiter is luck is on your side, but you have to reach out and take that luck. You have to decide that you're going to see the beauty in the world. You have to decide to talk and make connections with people. When you make the choice to do these things, it will work out in your benefit, but you still have to be the one to make that choice. So don't let fear hold you back. Go off and have new experiences, make new friends. Taking these actions will only bring good things into your life. Jupiter in Pisces transiting your second house means your comfort, stability, security, and finances are being expanded. Now is a great time to make your physical surroundings exactly as you want them. Take this time to redecorate your home in a way that represents you. Go out and buy soft blankets or candles or whatever it is that makes you feel comfortable in your own home. Your need to pamper yourself has been expanded. So take this time to relax by getting in the bath with a glass of wine or curling up on the couch with a good book. Really take this time to make yourself feel comfortable and at home. You also might want to spend more time at home than normal, which is totally okay. You're going to feel more comfortable staying at home than you are going to feel going out into the world right now. Really take this time to get in touch with yourself and find what brings you security. You probably have a hard time in your life finding your security with Pisces being in your second house. With Jupiter now here, you are getting the opportunity to figure out what makes you feel secure and safe. What is it that you need to create in your life to find that security for yourself? Really take this time to ground yourself. It is hard to feel grounded with Pisces here, but right now you have the opportunity to do so. With Pisces in your second house, your stability and security, it's not going to manifest itself in the same way that it does for most people, which is why this is a great time for you to figure out what makes you feel stable and secure personally. Even if it doesn't reflect most everyone else's vision of those qualities, that's okay. Ground your life in a way that most benefits you, even if that means you have to color outside the lines. Right now is a great time to bring money into your life. Your ability to make money has been expanded. The key to this is you do have to put in some effort to get it. If you don't put any effort in, yes, your money will grow, but it's not going to grow anywhere near the level it is capable of reaching. If you're an artist, you'll also be able to make money during this time way more easily than normal. So don't wait to sell your art online or publish your novel. Right now, you will have more financial success putting your artistic projects out into the world than you would most any other time. While you do have opportunities for financial gains during this time, also be careful. Your delusions when it comes to your finances are also being expanded as well. It's easy for you to spend beyond your means thinking that you're going to find the money to pay it back later. But down the road, when Jupiter's out of Pisces, you'll find that you won't find the money to pay it back later. And that money is now harder to come by than you thought it was going to be. So then you have to climb your way out of debt and you no longer have that luck of Jupiter on your side to help you. Jupiter in Pisces in your third house means you are expanding your knowledge and communication. The information that you can take into your mind during this time is limitless. So make sure you are dedicating time to learning. With Jupiter, everything comes easy, so it's also easy to squander those opportunities because they came so easily to you. So it's easy for you to spend your time scrolling through social media thinking that you're going to do some reading later on, but you never do. Spend your time on the internet actually reading articles and putting more knowledge into your head. Or when you're on social media, be sure to follow accounts that are actually going to teach you something. Instead of scrolling through social media, liking pretty pictures, or watching funny cat videos, follow accounts about subjects that interest you or watch videos that are going to help you learn about something. There's no limit to how much you can learn during this time, so take advantage of that and try to learn as much as possible. The third house is the house of reading and writing. So you could, read an actual book. It doesn't even have to be an educational book, like read fiction during this time. Pisces really likes to live in its own dream world. So with that now being expanded, now's a great time to read books that take you off into your own dream world. Or now would actually be a great time to sit down and do some writing. Your creative writing abilities are off the charts during this transit, so you might as well take advantage of that. Even if you're not someone who wants a career or to make a profit off of your writing, now is a great time to write just for the simple joy of doing it. Or poetry would be something else that would be great for you to try your hand at writing during this time. No one makes money off poetry anymore anyway. So that's a perfect artistic outlet just for the joy of doing it. Or if you're not a creative person, now would be a great time to take up journaling. You have this expanded ability to be able to work out your thoughts and feelings by writing them down during this time. Also, don't worry if your writing is any good or not. That doesn't matter. The purpose of this transit is to do writing that benefits your life. And there's no better reason to write than that. Your communication is also going to be expanded at this time. You probably just want to talk and talk and talk for hours and you feel like you're never going to run out of anything to say. That's great. Follow that instinct. Communicating with other people will bring you joy during this time. And that's what's going to make you happier than anything else. With Jupiter expanding your fourth house, the deepest parts of you, the roots of you, are being expanded. The fourth house is the bottom of our natal charts. So it's the roots to our natal charts and everything else grows from there, which makes this an extremely important transit because what you're doing with Jupiter and Pisces right now will affect the rest of your natal chart. So with your roots growing and expanding, that doesn't mean that your roots are coming out of the ground. No, your roots are growing deeper into the ground. Your expansion is not going outward, you're expanding inward. Pay close attention to when Jupiter is close in degrees to your IC. Let's say, for example, your IC is in 15 degrees. So that way, when Jupiter is in Pisces and it's exactly 15 degrees or close to 15 degrees, that is when you are going to have the most luck expanding your roots. That's when you're going to want to work on your inner self the most. This transit is not for the benefit of anyone else. This transit is for the benefit of you. It's all about you helping yourself to grow. It will be easier to sit in uncomfortable emotions during this time. You have Jupiter there bringing luck and benefits to that part of yourself. So don't be afraid of your uncomfortable and dark emotions. Use this time to expand them further. You're already a deeply emotional person with Pisces in your fourth house. This transit is asking you to take those emotions even farther, to keep expanding your emotions, to keep uncovering even more of them. Pisces already doesn't have boundaries, and Jupiter is limitless with its expansion. So there is no limit to the emotions you are capable of uncovering during this time. Every time you think you're done, every time you think you felt all that you can feel, you'll discover that you're wrong, and you will find a new layer of emotional depth within yourself. If you're someone who's been having a difficult time getting in touch with your emotions lately, this is the perfect transit for you. It will help you to open back up your emotional wellspring and get in touch with who you're truly meant to be. So don't fight against your emotions during this transit, give in to them. Let Jupiter take you along where it wants to go. In the end, Jupiter and Pisces will only bring benefits if you choose to work with this energy instead of working against it. Jupiter and Pisces in your 5th house means you are having luck and expansion when it comes to your creativity. If you're a creative person, now is a great time to really tap into that. Focus on making as much art as possible. This transit really isn't focused on getting into the details of the art you're making. It's more about creating as much as you possibly can. So if you wind up starting on 5 different projects during this time, don't worry about that. This is less about finishing projects you already have or finishing projects that you start on during this time. It's more about just starting on whole new projects. When Jupiter enters your 6th house, that's when you want to start focusing on the details and focusing on finishing the projects you've started, but you're not there yet. This is more of a free-spirited time about following your inspiration down the rabbit hole, wherever that might take you. If you leave a bunch of different unfinished projects behind you, don't worry about that. You will have time to come back and focus on them later on. Pisces doesn't like restriction. Jupiter doesn't like restriction. So trying to put restrictions on anything you try to make during this time is only going to backfire. Follow your ideas wherever they take you. If they take you someplace you've never been before, that's a great thing. That's exactly what Jupiter wants for you. Jupiter is all about exploring unknown territory, so it wants to take your creativity into unknown territory. This transit is also not about worrying whether your art is good or not. There will be time for that later on. This is about creating as much as possible and trying out things that are new. If you create something and you decide that you don't like it, guess what? You don't have to use it. You can always throw it out later. Also, creating art that maybe isn't your best still expands your creativity. So you will be able to create better art in the future, but you have to take those risks now in order to expand your creative abilities. Now's a great time to sign up for creative classes, even if those classes are in areas that you have no experience in. Even if you're bad at it, doesn't matter. The class is still expanding your creativity past the limits of where it was before. With Jupiter and Pisces expanding your 6th house, this means your day-to-day life and routine is becoming expanded. You're probably not someone who has an ordinary day-to-day life with Pisces being in your 6th house. Pisces is kind of a weird, chaotic sign, so that's what your day-to-day life is like. With Jupiter here, this is bringing luck to you having a different day-to-day life than everyone else. You're really going to be able to see the blessings of your life having a different structure during this time. You're going to see the benefits of your life being chaotic and messy and different than your peers. Your everyday life, it's never boring. It isn't dull. Your ability to get work done is expanded during this time. When you think about it, our careers are a constant activity, and the 6th house is the house of constant activities. So if you put the work in, you have the ability to be highly productive during this transit. Wherever Jupiter is, things come so easily to us that it's tempting to not even do them at all. So you have to make the decision that you are going to expand your workload now. You'll be able to get more work done, but yet it feels easier than normal. So don't squander that opportunity. What you do now are going to be the building blocks that aids you in your 10th house or your midheaven, which gets you closer to your ultimate goals in life. Now, I'm not saying that you have to work every day to the point that you exhaust yourself. That's not good for Pisces either. You will probably still have a chaotic work schedule. You'll just be able to get more work done within the chaos. Pisces doesn't like for everything to stay the same. Pisces likes constant change. So lean into your chaotic energy at the same time you're leaning into your productive energy. You will be able to create your best work when you have a mix of both. With Jupiter and Pisces transiting your 7th house, this means you're seeing luck and expansion in your relationships. If you're single, now's a great time to meet people who you want to get into romantic relationships with. People will automatically be more drawn to you during this time. What that means though is that you still have to put in some effort to meet people. With Jupiter, things come so easily that we don't feel like we have to put any effort in, so then we don't actually attain them. You can't say that you want to get into a relationship, but then don't ever do anything that makes it possible for you to get into a relationship. Like if you sit at home watching Netflix all day and don't ever go anywhere where you might potentially meet someone, then you're not going to meet anyone. You have to get off your couch and go out into the world, and then the universe will put people in your life who are potential romantic partners. If you're already in a relationship, now is a great time to fall more deeply in love with the person you're already with. If you've been in a relationship for a long time, you can use this energy to feel like you're in the honeymoon phase all over again. Once again, though, you need to actively put time and effort into doing this. Go out on a romantic date with your partner. Take a vacation together. Do activities together that will make you feel closer. Now, the danger of this transit is that it is easy to be delusional about your romantic partners. Whoever you have a crush on, don't pine after them so much that you close yourself off from other relationships. If you actually dated them, you would find out that it's not nearly as great as you thought it would be in your head. If you start to date someone right now, once Jupiter moves out of Pisces, you can find that you'll start to see the real them, which isn't the person you were initially attracted to. This could be that their personality starts to change the longer that they are in a relationship with you, or it might be that they are the exact same person. You've just been delusional about them and been seeing them through rose-colored glasses. So yes, while you're meant to date and you're meant to open yourself up to romantic relationships, just make sure that you don't put all your hopes and dreams onto one person, because you might wind up disappointed when reality comes crashing in. With Jupiter in Pisces transiting your 8th house, you're expanding the darkest parts of yourself as well as your deepest relationships. There is no level of depth that you are not capable of reaching during this time. You aren't expanding outward, you're expanding inward. You need to think about subjects that, frankly, you probably don't want to think about or you actively avoid thinking about, such as death. Now is a great time to come to grips with your mortality. Most of us don't like to think about death. We live our lives as if we are never going to die, meaning we don't live our lives to our fullest potential. We don't feel as deep as we are capable of feeling. If you allow yourself to realize that one day you are going to die, that your time on earth is limited, how would you change your life? How much more are you capable of feeling? The 8th house is also our house of our deepest relationships. How can you expand the depth of how much you feel for those you are closest to? Jupiter here wants to bring you closer to those that you love. It's giving you that opportunity by making it easier for you to become closer. You just can't run away from your relationships because that intensity scares you. You have to run into your relationships. Close, soul-sharing relationships are scary, but you have to realize that the most deep and meaningful relationships in your lives, they're always going to be scary. So you can't let fear hold you back. Jupiter here makes it easier to take a leap of faith in your relationships. If you can't get over that fear now, then it's going to be even harder to overcome later on. Also, how would you react differently in your relationships when you keep in mind that you are going to die someday? Is taking a risk in your relationship really that scary compared to that? Risk seems more worth it when you know that you have a limited amount of time to form soul-changing relationships with other people. This is definitely the darkest house of this video. Sorry, not sorry if it makes you uncomfortable, but it's the 8th house, and there's no way to talk about the 8th house and the energy it brings into your life without going dark and depressing. Jupiter in Pisces transiting your 9th house is expanding your philosophical mind during this time. In a way, Jupiter is at home here because Jupiter is the philosophical planet and the 9th house is the philosophical house. You are capable of having genius level philosophical realizations during this time. Pisces is already a highly philosophical sign because it's not tethered to reality. It's already lost in a world that no one else can reach. Philosophy isn't tethered to reality either. It's a bunch of different concepts. So these energies are already aligned with one another. So when you take all that and you put Jupiter there, it expands it. You will never be able to grasp philosophical concepts as well as you can right now. So lean into that. Don't be afraid to spend time lost in your own mind thinking. Ask yourself all kinds of interesting questions and let your mind take you wherever it is that your mind wants to go. Don't try and control your thoughts. The more of your control you surrender and follow what is happening in your mind without putting restrictions on your thoughts, the more genius your realizations will be. Jupiter in Pisces is about divine inspiration. It's about stream of consciousness. You not being in control, but letting something else where you don't know where it's coming from be in control and take you where it wants to go is ultimately going to take you where it is that you want to go. Jupiter in Pisces is also expanding your delusions when it comes to philosophy, escapism, and travel. On the one hand, you are able to tap into new parts of yourself and have these genius philosophical realizations you would have never had before. But on the other hand, some of those realizations might feel like they are genius level, but they are actually deception. Wanting to go off and travel might work out really well for you while Jupiter is in Pisces. But if you have to put your vacation on a credit card to do it, then once Jupiter goes out of Pisces, you might find that you have a complete financial mess on your hands. You're going to want to run away from your problems during this transit. Because your delusions are being expanded, you're going to think that everything's going to turn out okay and that running away is somehow going to solve all your issues. But you're wrong. Running away from your problems might work out for a little while, but once this transit is over, your problems are still going to be there. And you're going to have to actually deal with them, but without the protection of Jupiter. So don't run away from your issues. Stay and deal with them. When you stay and deal with them, Jupiter will be on your side and will bring you luck in the situation. It will be easier to deal with now than it ever will be in the future. So make life easier on yourself by choosing to deal with your problems in the present moment instead of putting them off. Jupiter in Pisces transiting your 10th house means you are seeing luck and expansion when it comes to your public persona and career. Your public persona is being amplified out into the world for everyone to see. People are going to be talking about you a lot more than normal. This is why it's extremely important for you to try your best to be a good person during this transit. Pisces is a sweet, sensitive, and gentle sign. You need to remain all of these things. The nicer you are to people, the more word is going to carry that you're a nice person. So try to be the best version of yourself during this time. Being nice in general is going to help you with your career. With Pisces being in your 10th house, you can't get away with being a jerk like some other midheavens can. Part of what helps you in your career is being a sensitive, caring person. This will be amplified during this time. The nicer you are to other people, the more Jupiter will help get you to where you want to go. You can generate luck just by being a good person. So even if it seems like there's an easier path if you do some nefarious activities, don't take it. It will backfire on you and actually set you back from where you want to go. Sometimes it's harder being the nice person than being the jerk. But ultimately, you have to rise to the occasion and decide that you're going to be the better person. And right now, when you choose to be the better person, that's only going to bring luck and benefits into your life. If you've been wanting to do something in your career, don't wait anymore. Use this transit to make that change. What you want to do is take what you've been working on and put it out into the world. This is how you can use this expansion to work for you. When you put your work out into the world, it's gonna go farther and you're gonna have more luck getting it noticed than normal. So let's say, for example, you wanna sell your art online. Do that right now. It's going to get more online traction than it normally would. This transit is not about waiting till something is perfect in order to take a step forward. It's about taking a gigantic leap even if you don't think that you're ready yet. Honestly, if you wait till you're ready, you will never be ready. So take this time to move forward. Even if you don't know what you're doing, luck will be on your side and will help you figure it out. The mistakes you make right now will not have the same consequences as if you make those mistakes later on, but Jupiter is no longer in Pisces. Jupiter is a higher, spiritual, mystical oriented planet. So right now, the energy is right for you to take a leap of faith. Jupiter in Pisces transiting your 11th house means you are having luck and expansion when it comes to your friendships and relationships that you need in order to help further your career. When Jupiter is transiting the 11th house, this means that everybody wants to be your friend. People are just naturally drawn to you. In social situations, people will randomly come up to talk to you. So if you're someone who's naturally shy and intimidated by other people, this is a great transit for you. What you have to understand about Jupiter is Jupiter brings you luck and opportunities, but you still have to be the one to grasp those opportunities. Jupiter can throw 10 different opportunities in your path, but if you choose to walk right past all those opportunities, then those opportunities are gone. So yes, people will be drawn to you during this time. People will want to reach out and pursue a friendship with you during this time, but you also have to engage back with those same people. If you get invited to go out and do something and you say no, well, then don't be surprised if that other person never reaches out again. On the flip side of this, also be careful when it comes to boundaries with other people. Because everyone wants to be your friend during this time, some of those people are probably not people you should be friends with. They don't always have the best intentions or respect your boundaries. Pisces has no boundaries, so there are no boundaries when it comes to the type of people who will want to be in your life. So if someone is inviting you to go out and do something that you know isn't smart and it makes you uncomfortable to go out and do that thing, then yes, say no to going out in that case. What you have to be careful of is making the distinction of being able to say yes to good opportunities that could potentially lead to wonderful friendships, and no to situations with people who will not make good friends. Lastly, now is a great time to make social connections that can help you in your career. Use your popularity to help you advance in your career goals, whether that's moving up the job you're currently in or wanting to change jobs completely. You also have the potential to make connections right now that you will be able to utilize in the future. So anytime a networking opportunity pops up, don't hesitate, say yes and go. Be sure to mingle and make as many connections as possible. Also, be sure to reach out to people. They will be receptive of you getting in contact with them right now. Send emails and texts and make sure that you stay in touch with the connections that you make right now. Jupiter in Pisces transiting your 12th house wants to bring luck and expansion when it comes to your imagination. You're already a pretty imaginative person with Pisces being in your 12th house. So Jupiter is asking you to take that even farther. How big can your imagination get? That's the question you need to be asking yourself and seeking answers to. With Pisces here, you already have a limitless imagination. You will never reach the end of your creativity. So Jupiter is asking you to embrace this about yourself and keep pushing that farther, because you will never run out of ideas. Don't worry if your ideas seem bizarre or different than what you normally create. Don't worry if what you are creating is good or not, because that's not the point of this transit. The point is to keep pushing you out of your comfort zone. The farther you go, the better your imagination will ultimately become. Also, don't worry if your ideas aren't organized. You'll most likely find that you're not working on one project, but you're working on a bunch of different creative projects. Even if you aren't getting anything completed, don't worry. What this transit might be about for you is coming up with ideas for a bunch of different projects that you'll be able to come back to later on. So you will not run out of ideas for new projects once Jupiter is no longer in Pisces. But while Jupiter is in Pisces, let your imagination wander off wherever it is that it wants to go. Don't be in control of your imagination. Let your imagination control you. Jupiter is going in and out of Pisces 3 different times. So use when Jupiter is in Pisces to come up with new ideas, and use when Jupiter moves out of Pisces to work on actually completing those ideas. This is the house transit that, I'm not gonna lie, I am the most concerned for. You have Pisces, which is the delusional sign, in the 12th house, which is the delusional house. So you already have this compounding delusional energy in your natal chart. Now you have Jupiter coming in and expanding that delusional energy. This makes it easy to get lost in your mind during this time. You might find yourself daydreaming for hours and you have no idea where the time went. Don't forget to remain a part of the real world too, because it's so easy for you to get lost in your head and completely disconnected from reality. Also, be careful of using drugs and alcohol during this time. Wanting to lose yourself in something other than reality is expanded during this time, and drugs and alcohol are the easiest way to accomplish this. I'm not saying that you have to remain completely sober during this transit. Just be aware and be cautious to make sure that you don't take things too far. No matter how many drugs you do or how much you drink, it will never feel like enough as long as Jupiter is in Pisces. It will always feel like you can go farther. But that's a dangerous mentality to have and can get you into trouble. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked this video, please do me a big favor and be sure to like and subscribe below for more cool astrology content. Once again, thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.